Good morning, COMI family. Today is a beautiful morning. We started from Vega School campus, and we are with a noble, dynamic soul who has spent his 3 years of his life traveling all over the world to understand and check that the education puzzle. There is something called education puzzle that has been solved or not. And what is this education puzzle? We will know with the person that we will be in conversation today. So here with we have Daniel. He is the principal director of Vega.
Good morning.
And Sandeep Huda. He is the co-founder of Vega School. So Sandeep, welcome, and Daniel, welcome to the COMI Talk Show. And I'm very excited, and the COMI family is very excited to know more about you, about the Vega. So we just like to understand that when, how Vega started, and what made you start this. What was you looking for an education puzzle? What you started with? So what is it about?
Thank you for having us. The education puzzle actually for us is a very simple thing, and that is that children must love learning, and they must learn real stuff that they'll use in life. And during the 3 years that I took off many years ago, when I traveled around the world, the idea was to find schools and people who solved this puzzle. And I was really blown away by some of the things that I saw. Some schools around the world where children love learning, they love going to school to learn, and they were learning unbelievable things that they would use later in life. So inspired by that, we started Vega Schools. Both our campuses, we believe in learning by doing. Children learn by doing projects, solving problems, and we believe they have lots of fun doing so.
That's perfect. So you found a solution, you tried to give a solution to that education puzzle through Vega, what I understand, yes?
Yes.
Perfectly fine. And how did you get connected to Daniel? First I'd like to listen from you about Daniel, then I think then Daniel, I'll give a chance to talk about himself, yes.
Well, my version of events is that there are no coincidences in life. People are destined to meet, they meet, and Dan and I met through our co-founder actually, Dr. Stephen Edwards, who is a globally respected name in education. He connected us, and the rest is history.
Wow, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Daniel, just let us know about yourself, about your journey with Vega. When were you first asked, and how did you? What was your reaction, and how and further whatever you want to add.
Sure. Yeah. No, it was. It's been a great relationship here. My background is in international education. Actually, before that, I was a U.S. Air Force officer, so I've had a couple of careers, and served throughout the Middle East, throughout Europe. And I was connected, I was actually most recently in Egypt, and I got a call, talked to Steve, and he talked about the project they had going here, and it's exciting because being able to go from the ground up, developing a problem-based learning school, implementing it completely, we do a lot of work to get schools from an old method to this method. And the chance to come and join a school that was built ground up on this, with open classrooms, the entire approach, is exciting. So that's why I'm here.
And you're excited, it can be seen.
Yes, yeah.
So how many years you have been with the Vega?
So 2 years now, so I'm still fairly new here, but getting to know the country. I love international travel.
I want to ask this, what about India? You like or you don't like? You have to be fair.
Yes, no, we love travel. We love meeting people. What we love truly is new cultures, new language, new experiences. Before this, I'd been in the Middle East a number of years and had been able to travel to India from time to time. Love the food, love spicy food.
Okay, that's nice.
We love the color in the festivals, the color in the clothing, the color in the personalities. So
wow, that's amazing.
We're having a lot of fun.
That's amazing. That's really nice to know about it, that love for India. Okay, so Sandeep, coming back to you, what challenges you faced? You were looking for this education, you found that learn of joy you want to give with the students. There must be some challenges, or there's something, what was, you would have a goal, but reaching that goal, I'd like to know a story about it, what are challenges or whatever motivation you want to share with the people.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think there are 3 core challenges we faced. First was the system itself.
Okay.
system of education, the board, but the government of India has done a fantastic job. We have a new education policy, which is now largely aligned around learning by doing. So that challenge seems to be going away, and that's great for India. It's great for progressive schools like us, CBSE schools like us as well. The second challenge was the mindset of the parents, but that also we see it shifting now, because people in the real world are realizing how hard it is to get jobs, how hard it is to make a real business successful in the dynamic and changing world. So parents' mindset is also shifting. They want a more progressive education, learning for their children. And the third challenge always is and will be teachers, to find those kind of teachers who can make this happen. But again, we've come a long way, because good teachers, very progressive teachers with a great growth mindset, they want to work in schools like ours. So we are fortunately slowly becoming a magnet for progressive teachers.
And there's a mission that you have, how and why, your study is based on that. So what is about that? How and why to learn? So can you just elaborate more on that? And I was reading your mission, so I just thought that, what is it about and how are you implementing it now?
So, there's a science behind learning. It's called metacognition. It's the science of how and why we learn. And the most important thing we learn from that science is that we learn something when we want to learn it. So we at Vega try to craft our learning around what the children like and what they want to learn. And for them to learn something with a reason, for a context, to do a project, to solve a problem. And we find that when you want to learn something, then your attention, retention, everything changes. It's at significantly higher levels.
Okay, that's all perfect. Okay, so any memory you have which you feel with the campus, with your team, with your students, that you remember, that you feel that you are on the right path? Any moment that you remember, that happiness? Because sometimes we, try to, visualize something that we have to do this. But there was a moment when something happened and you feel like, yeah, I'm on the right track. I have to go further. So what was that moment, if you can recollect that?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think these memories happen, fortunately, very often. But I can tell you two things that happened in the last 3 weeks. One was we had our annual retreat, and I was just so happy to see people so incredibly happy. We take great pride in our warm culture without fear. You are not afraid of your boss. You can walk up and say, I disagree, of course respectfully. So that is huge for us. And the second was, and huge credit to Dan and his team, there was a science, our annual science festival, where children were doing unbelievable things. They've built things, it was a mecca of application of knowledge. And that vindicates what we do, and makes us feel so happy that what we intended is actually happening on the ground. So it's always about the learners. If the learners are doing amazing things, then we are on the right track.
And for me, I'll jump in and say, what's really rewarding for me is when a parent comes, and this happened this week in one of our parent meetings. I meet parents quite a lot, and they want to know, what have we done to their child, because on Saturday they cry because there's no school.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And just seeing them come in the morning, I meet them at the gate in the morning or off the bus, they run. They are so excited to be here. They're happy. If we can create that kind of culture where they just want to be here, they're sponges. They're going to soak things up. And so if they're happy, they don't feel that pressure. They're learning. They're enjoying. They feel safe. That for me is great.
Wow, that's really amazing. When a kid wants to come to school, so we can imagine the environment, the kind of family environment, I should say, that they are getting this. There's few program I see and something few. So can you just elaborate what are all the program? Because we all know about the regular. I will not ask them the regular methodology that they follow. We can all do the program. We know it, regular curriculum we all have. But there are few specific unique features which I just got to know that they are doing, and I want to ask you about it. Daniel, what is those programs that extra apart from regular curriculum you are giving it to the kids?
Yeah, I think it's important that for us, education is meaningless in a vacuum. So it's all about application. Whether it's application in solving a problem in an academic setting, or it's being aware of your role in the society. So we have Shram. We want our kids to know and feel connected to society and know how they can contribute. So we learn things so that we can contribute, so that we can do. If we see a problem, we want to solve the problem. So in Shram, our kids have the opportunity to go out in the community. They've done things to do studies on small villages and talk to people about their experiences. They put together projects, and they do drives to bring in resources. But it's all about having a mindset that says, what can I do to be a contributor to society? It's not, how can I perform as an individual on a math test? It's, who am I? Know yourself, know your skills, and how can you contribute?
Okay, I think the moral values and a lot of other things that, here comes my next question related. How do you get the family, the community, the parents involved, with the Vega? What is any initiative that you have? I think I have read something.
Yeah, we do a number of things. I meet weekly I have a weekly coffee session with different groups of parents from classes. We have a parent council that meets monthly. We have.
That's a part of the PTM, regular PTM.
That's right.
That's interesting.
So we have, we want to hear from our parents. We want to hear, because every child's an individual. And we want to know from those parents, what is your child experiencing at home? And what can we do to help them? It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. So unless we're connected with our parents, we're not going to know that vital information. We want our parents to have input, to have say, to feel ownership of the school. They're part of the family, and together with the parents. So sometimes we'll do training. We'll share with them how we're doing PBL so that they can contribute at home and join with us in this approach to education. Most of our parents have identified that their traditional experience is not what they want for their children, but they don't know exactly what it looks like or how they can help and contribute. So by working together, they're learning how they can better influence their children in this critical thinking kind of 21st century skills. But we have lots of opportunities for parents to be here on campus.
That's very nice. And I think you have a daycare facility also, and also you have a library. The library is open for everyone, or it's only for the students?
Actually, that's a good question. It's a community library. So we have libraries at both our campuses, and we want our community, we want to be part of our community. We want to practice what we're preaching to our students about how can we have a positive influence around us. So we have a community library. Members can come in, take books. I think it's been a success.
So it's only for the Vega family, or the
anyone from the community can come in and borrow books from our lending library.
That's interesting. I think because these kind of initiative and this learning has to be imparted to everyone. We should not be restricted to them. Okay, Sandy, I want to understand that any you want to say a message for the entrepreneurs who are looking forward, because you reached to a level and now you are a role model for many of us. So any thing that you want to communicate people who are looking forward to reach and live their goals, and so anything you want to give a message for them?
Well, just actually two things. One is we call it we refer to it at Vega as DOK4. The term comes from a well-known educator, and it's about finding new and better ways of doing things and applying knowledge in new and different contexts. So I think for any entrepreneur wanting to make a difference, the idea is to go find a new or better way of doing something that's really needed. And of course the second piece is to work really hard. There's no other secret, honestly.
Okay, and I think that's really nice motivation for them. What is this Vega on Air? I think there's an initiative by Vega. So I think there's so many terms. I explored your website, so I saw there's so many things new things to learn. Otherwise you go to school website and you regularly curriculum and this, but there's so many to listen from you. So what is this Vega on Air?
Well, Vega on Air is something we are very excited about. There are two reasons we created Vega. There are two semicircles. The first semicircle was to provide learning that children really enjoy and where they learn real world things. So that's one semicircle. The second semicircle was to be able to share what we do with the world, so that we can play a little role in transforming education, how things are learned and taught. Vega On Air is a platform where we invite really well-known people from all walks of life, from across the country. So generally people who are respected celebrities, and we ask them that what are the things that they experienced in their childhood that made them successful later in life. And the idea for doing this is to be able to share, to cull out and to share some insights with parents so they can do things with their children that can make them successful in life.
That's amazing. So I feel like hearing you, keep on hearing you from your initiative. Okay. So there is my next question to you is that teachers are there and obviously they look for motivation. So what you do there's some initiative for you that where you empower to help them be a role model for the students.
Yes, and our philosophy here again is a family, and sometimes that gets overused. You'll say, we're all a family here. Here it's a very flat structure, and so my job is not to be the boss of everything. My job is to develop our staff, give them more and more authority, allow them to grow in ways that they can grow, support them, give them specialized training, identify those who want to move into leadership. So this is a continual process with us. In addition to the team building things we do, like we have a retreat, we do town halls, we get together as a group and we meet. We want to build that collaborative spirit because that's a big part of what we do.
I think the town hall words coming from the US, yeah?
Yes, could be, yes.
I can connect to that.
So,
that's nice.
Yes.
So you're getting some experience from there also.
That's
you
right.
will be, because I think Daniel is coming from US,
Yes, I'm
from
the US.
Yeah, so California. So I think his experience and knowledge, because when we go out, we see that there's a lot of, but here I think in India, we've always faced that there's a lot of stress on the kids, like from second or first, in fact, people start looking for tutors, and I have the communities where, moms are always looking. Please refer to me. And I was like, class 1, do you need a tutor seriously? So, the kind of things that are happening in India, stress building from the childhood is not good. And I feel that, bringing, I think, Daniel here, Sandy has done a very nice, noble, that's why I call it noble initiative you have taken, where, his experience and knowledge of Daniel will, take care of a lot of things, where he will understand the psychology of the kids, where, it's not important that we have to, my son, since I was like 6, he was not giving an exam, and I was like, no exam means no study, but it's not the truth. We can learn through other ways also, by presentations, by participating in the projects, and I think that new schools like this, new initiatives like this, has emphasized that tests or making a pressure on the kids is not the solution and not the right way of learning. Am I right, Sandy?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, not a single successful person that we interviewed on Vega On Air said that they became successful because of rote learning or memorizing. Not one. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah, because we all face a lot of stress throughout our lives, But I think at the tender age, if you have a fear of giving an exam and at 5 years of age, and I think that's a not good. Because I have been to US many times and I've seen my nephews and they're so relaxed, they're doing so many activities and they're not stressed about the study because they learn automatically through those learning. They're not pressurized that much. So I think that's why I'm emphasizing, because Daniel is here with Sandy and I think that methodology is being implemented here. Board exam time is going on, Daniel. So any message you want to give to the parents, because you're talking about stress.
Right.
So, the boards is just heading in this month only. So any message you want to give it to them?
Look, and in fact I met with our 10th grade students too and had a session with them to tell them pressure, you're going to feel it. There's no way to eliminate pressure in our life, especially as professionals in our work, we're going to face that. So how do we deal with it? How do we build confidence? And we don't want to blow this thing up as bigger than it needs to be. So grade 10 exams are important, board exams are important, but if you've been prepared all the way along, if you have the right mindset, And again, like you were talking about pressure, if you've been pressured from a young age, you develop this oppositional mindset towards school, towards academics, and that gets in the way of you performing well on an exam. If you see learning as an exciting thing that you've applied and you know this, you're comfortable, you're confident, you're going to do well in the exams. And I know that that's, for a lot of people, that's the ultimate test of a school, but I think a better test is to see who are you as a person. Yes, you know this much, yes, you can do this much, but who are you as a person? What do you value? What do you want to be? How do you want to contribute? Those things should be kept in balance with, you know, the pressure of performing at a certain percentage, getting certain marks on any exam in life.
I agree, because the time has really changed. You know, in our times there was only the profession like, you know, engineer or MBA or doctor. But I think nowadays so much creativity the kids have. You know, they have so many fields that kids can enroll into. So we have to understand what the kid is into, you know, good into. And then I think schools like these are, you know, giving that preference. They're giving that environment where they can learn, and apart from academics, they can perform other ways also. So, coming back to Sandy. Sandy, what is the next initiative that, you know, we are going to hear from Vega, which is, you know, going to empower the education system?
Well, for us, Vega on Air is a new initiative, and you know, we also need to see certain initiatives through before we move on to new initiatives. But really, I think the biggest thing for us is children doing really good projects, solving problems, innovating, and what we will expect, everyone can expect to see from Vega is children doing incredible things over the course of the next year or two.
That's true. And from you, Daniel?
Yes, I think there's a sense, as we talk actually back to the 10 exams and what we're going to see from Vega, the boards, is that there's a sense that they can't perform well unless they've been pressurized all the way through. And I think what we're going to see is the evidence, as we've seen in many other schools, and the schools that Sandy visited around the world, some of the many schools, international schools that I've been involved in, we see children excel on these exams because they've been taught to this level, and boards are typically, you know, multiple choice, lower level thinking. So if they excel critical thinking, they're going to excel greatly at the basics. So we're going to see a lot of kids doing some exciting things and achieving their goals, finding their passion, and following their passion.
Yeah, I agree. That passion is really important, and that pressure won't go. The love for learning, that is what message I'm taking it from here. That you know, the learning should be, you know, love. The kids should feel happy about learning whatever they want to. Everybody, you can't compare, you know, the people. Everybody has their own skills, own, you know, the methodology, everything they have own. So we, as a parent, as a school, we all have to give them a community where they're comfortable, they love, you know, their life. They're not stressed, because I have also feel a lot of stress during my school days, so I can, you know, relate it better. So I think we have to give them freedom, and they have to just support them whatever the way possible. Thanks, Sandy and Daniel, for your time, and we hope that Vega grows. I think you have 2 schools now, so we are hoping that they have schools all over India and world, and the success stories we'll keep on covering.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
And now I will just request Ekansh from COMI Team to help us visit the Vega campus, and also Shweta Bakshi from Vega to support him to take us through the visit. Thank you.
Hello Shweta, how are you doing?
Hi Ekansh, thank you so much.
So, family, we are at Vegas and we have Shweta ma'am with us. She's going to help us to have a walkthrough to the Vega campus. Okay.
So, let us show you all beautiful campus. It is,
Okay.
yeah.
It is a quiet zone.
Yeah, so this is the corridor to the first floor where we have our nursery and KG grades. If you see, we do not have closed classroom because we have open learning zones here.
Okay. I guess this is first
Schedule
point.
where our children come, the learners come time to time.
So, we were into the open classrooms. I hope this is the first school where I have seen this. And generally, when we went to those classrooms, it's all like chairs and all. I guess it is a very relaxing environment for the children. So, let's see what all other new activities we have from Vega. So, do post in comments how you are feeling about these new initiatives, new way of learning, and if there is any input, we can also communicate with the Vega team or you are looking for any inquiry for your kids enough, so you can also connect with the team. So we are heading to the next floor now, and let's see what all other surprise we have.
So I'm taking you to the fourth floor of our school, which has the auditorium and the music room. So right now no class is going on, but this is our music room. That's Dolly, our music teacher.
Hi. So she's our teacher.
Yes.
Okay. So how's your experience here?
Very good, sir. It's amazing.
So how you coping up with the kids? How they are acting in music and how they are loving to learn from you?
So we will basically start with the with some fun games or instrumentals
Okay.
and the vocals. So they love to play and sing with us.
Can you just play a small tune for our viewers?
What kind of music you want?
Any viewers, you have to. That was the music room where kids can enjoy the other activities. Let's see what all we have. So I can see there are many rooms which has the play areas, the different activities. So this is you come to the campus and I can say that you will feel it's not a regular school. There is something different. So I am amazed of being an educator and seeing that I've always believed कि बच्चों के साथ कुछ ऐसा किया जाए कि ना उनको मज़ा आए, उनको पढ़ाई सजा ना लगे. So I believe this is one of a place where I can personally recommend. At least come visit, have a talk to the Vega family and see how it's work out for your kid. Let's see what other things we have. We're waiting from this. Sorry, she will
No, it's fine. Please come. So this is the auditorium we have where we have small sessions.
Okay.
This morning we had a session of financial literacy for grade 4 and 5, where we had an expert come in and he talked about the financial literacy, because these children need to know about financial literacy.
Right, so,
Such sessions on time and time we keep doing with the experts.
So you call the experts from
Yes.
exterior also a part of the Vega family,
Right.
and they give the expert knowledge to the
Correct.
kids.
Yes.
You also have something like kids competitions over here in auditoriums, or might be they are,
So they are being
learning.
exposed to various activities. We usually don't make them compete with each other, but it is more of the collaboration which they work on. So in fact, you might have heard about a lot of inter-school competitions, but this year we did one conclave where we invited students from all over Gurgaon. From various schools, students came to participate, and what we did was we made different teams with students from each school. So and then they collaborate. So they collaborated, each team has the member from different school, and they collaborated, and then they competed against each other. That was a beautiful sight.
That's really interesting. It is ना आपको सुन के, I guess from the classrooms, and we are getting very energetic as an educator. There are many things which can be done and are practically possible for not for just one, for all the kids. And I will personally somehow make all the parents at least have one visit. You can see there are walls. Is it all done by kids? Yes. So whenever you're going to the left area, the other lobby areas, you will be finding something or another on the walls, which is, I guess, everything is done by the Vega kids itself. And we are now getting towards another customised. We are doing that. Okay, so it is for the higher. Earlier we looked for the kids, and now we have something. Let's have a word with few kids or something. Let's see how dancing is attractive. So this is a classroom going on. Let's try to catch up. Hi. What's your name? Saksha. What are you doing? So Hindi work. Okay. So you are enjoying doing your Hindi work. What all other activities you do here? So you don't enjoy Hindi work. What do you enjoy? So you like maths and English. So maths is your favorite subjects. Okay, what all you find interesting in Vegas while studying here? और आपको क्या क्या मजा आता है यहाँ पे पढ़ते हुए जब आप करते हो? हाँ जी, फूड बहुत अच्छा है यहाँ का. अरे वाह, तो जिन जिनको खाने का शौक है आ जाओ यार, यहाँ पे खाना बड़ा अच्छा मिलता है. So I guess these are the lovely kids performing their activities, classroom activities, and they are just I guess grade 5 students. So it was nice knowing them.
Also, Akanish, one thing I would want to tell you is that Spanish is the third language we are teaching to our students, and it is being introduced to them from KG. So from KG they start learning Spanish. Of course, the level increases with the grades, but we believe that earlier they start, better they get. So Spanish is the language
we can explore many new things. I guess even there are few activities which one of our educator Vinod sir has also told that they are teaching students about the blind reading and other new activities. So I guess the world is in education also it's getting us many surprises. Hello.
Hello.
What are you guys doing?
So that's Sanjay.
Preparing for? SLC. What's that? Oh, that's great. इसमें क्या होता है, कौन बताएगा?
We explain our topics that we have chosen, that we learnt in our term, and we explain them to our parents.
To your parents? Oh, that's amazing. So, आप सब अपना अपना अलग अलग टॉपिक के ऊपर बोलोगे?
Yes, we choose 2 or 3 topics.
Okay, that's amazing. So you enjoy doing that?
Yes.
Chalo, continue. Thank you.
So you see learners are so confident, and the SLC, the term you just heard about, it's a student-led conference wherein the student, whatever they have learned in the term, they will explain it. They will explain it to the parents, and they'll show their work to them, and very confidently they explain everything. And we get such good positive feedback from the parent community about our SLCs and the project exhibitions. Wherein, because obviously this is what they want to see their child to be, a confident individual.
Involving parents with their kids grooming, I guess that is a very key element, and I guess Vegas is doing it very well. Not from just one of an activity, but many panel also share that they also have a coffee with parents, and there are many other activities apart from regular PPTs. So let's see. There is another counter here. So, Shruti, what exactly it is? Speak out for those who can't speak.
So this was one project they were doing with the animal welfare.
Okay.
So so whatever project they are doing, you will see the classrooms decorated with that project. So as you just mentioned about parent involvement at Vega, we have different committees, and whenever there is an important decision taking, we involve the parent community in that. So there is a VIPC, which is a Vega involved parent committee, wherein the parents from all grades, selected parents from the parent community, they are a part of it. Then regularly meet them, he hears the concerns from them, and he advises that they have. There is a cafe committee also. There is, the menu every month. The menu is being discussed with the parents, the nutrition level and everything. We discuss everything, and you just heard our children love the
kids were
food.
saying we love the food because that is actually selected by their parents.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
And many of the parents, they have told us that my child, he was a fussy eater, he was a picky eater, but here now he has started eating everything because they
I
are
guess ये
eating
तो
together.
every mother has believed कि हर बच्चा ना, मैं भी शायद मम्मी को कहीं ना कहीं तंग करता था, यार आपने क्या दिया टिफिन बॉक्स में. So I believe if you get a food, your learning also enhances.
So these are the projects from the recently concluded science exhibition.
Okay. And these are
So
all,
here
again, all
is
done by the students?
All by the students, yes.
Under the guidance of educators, they help them or the...
They guide them, but it's all done by them. This campus we have those till 5. The other campus is Sector 76. We have pre-nursery till 10. This year we'll have our first batch of 10.
So how, if any parents want to connect you, how they can connect you, how they can inquire about the admissions?
So they can reach out to us. We have the number, the admissions head, and the admissions team. They take the interaction first. So there is an IVR number. They can write to us, and I'm proud to say that maximum admission we get is via parents. Existing Vega parents would refer very confidently to other parents. They are the evangelists of Vega, and because they are so happy and so confident about Vega that they spread the word for us. And we take great pride in that. So
I guess Vega says love by learning, learning by doing. I guess you guys can see they are not just saying, they are actually implementing all this. As an educator, I am completely going to recommend my kid or other kids of the community come and at least spend a day or so. Do we have anything like might be a day or something where the outside kids can come and they can have a feel over here?
Yes. So we provide demo classes also. If anybody, any parent wants the child to attend the demo class, we welcome them to come and be a part of it.
तो गाइज एक डेमो क्लास तो आई गेस बनती है. आप आओगे तो खुद आपको कहीं ना कहीं वो डिफरेंस दिखेगा. आपको लग रहा है कि हम इधर आ रहे हैं और बोल रहे हैं, बट यहाँ खड़े होके मुझे एक रेगुलर स्कूल बिल्कुल नहीं लग रहा है. एंड आई एम प्रीटी श्योर आपने भी जब भी किसी भी स्कूल में विजिट करा होगा आपको ऐसा कैंपस नहीं मिला होगा. तो दिस इज एक्चुअली समथिंग डिफरेंस. एंड कहीं ना कहीं आप लोग खुद समझते हो एज अ पेरेंट्स की किड्स को बहुत सारे उनको भी ना कहीं ईज आउट चाहिए आज की लाइफ में. दे आर वेरी स्ट्रेस एंड सम हाउ दे रिक्वायर दैट लाइटर कल्चर एंड कहीं ना कहीं उनको ना हैप्पीनेस ढूंढ रहे हैं वो सारे भी. सो डू वी अडल्ट्स ऑल्सो. तो आप आओ, आई गेस इट इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू नॉट मेक देम happy but also you. So still come to the Vega. You can connect with Shweta, you can connect with the other Vega team. For now I guess we will take a leave and I believe कि आप सबको आज हमारा ये Vega फैमिली से मिलना आपको अच्छा लगा होगा और आपको भी कहीं ना कहीं हो रहा होगा कि हम आए और एटलीस्ट एक डेमो तो ले लें यहाँ पे. So anything else you would like to add, Shweta?
No, I would just want to conclude on this note. I'm picking it from your last line about the happiness, which is a big question back to Vega. We really believe that happy child learns better.
Right.
So we, we are all there to give them an environment where they are happy, comfortable, so they learn better. And yes, happiness and safety. These are the two things we really focus on. And yes, when we focus on these, everything follows. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Shruti
I
ma'am.
think the message is that love the learning, the way, the methodology, if kid is learning from the childhood, they will always love, their passion will always stay. But if you're forced to learn that तुम पढ़ नहीं रहे हो जो हम बचपन से करते आए हैं, देखते आए हैं, और शायद ऐसे मदर मुझे भी लगता था कि अरे यार बच्चा नहीं पढ़ रहा. But the way the schools have come up, like Vega and the schools, I think I'm really loving the philosophy, the methodology that you don't have to force, you have to give them a free environment, leave them, give them activities, give them books also, they will read on their own, you don't have to be after them, and give them an environment which is so positive that they feel like coming and learning, and because everybody wants to be happy, and I think learning gives happiness.
So we have these, I know I'm going on and on,
Yes,
but there
yes,
is so
please.
much about Vega that
Yeah.
there are dear corners, which is drop everything and read.
Okay, where is that?
Dear corners, there are on
Okay.
every floor there
Okay.
are set corners, and the children, they can pick up a book, they can just go there and sit
Okay.
and read. So
That's
because
nice.
we want to encourage them to read, they need to be in such an environment where they enjoy reading also. So we just every child wants to learn. We just need to give them a certain environment and a proper guidance. That is what we need. So that is what we are doing.
I just missed some extracurricular activities. What all the Vega has? Can you just update that also? I think I missed that point.
So extracurricular activities, we have the sports. If you see, we have all the sports. We have karate, house. We have huge play fields at our 76 campus, which we use for this campus students as well.
As well.
So yeah, so students they travel to both the campuses sometimes as per the occasion.
Right.
And yes, then there is science related projects which they keep on doing. So there is cybersecurity thing which we teach there.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's interesting.
So
So many interesting topics these days, apart from the
so
regular
whatever is the
study.
need of the hour, we take up that and we try to educate our children.
I think that's interesting because once they, excel in any of this activity, and that can, set their future. So they don't have to become only engineer, but they can be. So it was really
Sky is the limit.
Yes, sky is the limit. So I think it was really a beautiful morning, to start at Vega and knowing about them, about their founder. It was a great learning, and I am missing, why, I want to just go
Yes.
to my childhood and start the, again
That's
because.
usually what we get to hear from our parents, that how I wish this was the school at our
Yes, I
time.
think that is, everybody where the parents are there, I hear the same thing, that we want to go back to our childhood and where, more kind of this positive environment is there. Where only not books are important, but other things are also important. So we'll again come with another new story with you today. Vega, we have come with a picture of Vega's in front of you. Next time, I think in another 2 hours, we'll be again live with a study abroad at Australia. And stay tuned for that. It will be starting at 3 o'clock. So stay tuned. Bye. Happy day, COMI family.